What's going on, family? This is episode 38 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. I am joined today by, Mr. What's Good ain't here today, but we still got a doctor in the house because we got Luke in the building. So what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, family? Good to be here for another live broadcast on another beautiful Monday. So how you been, Solomon? What's going on with you, brother?
Man, this week has been pretty cool. Been working as usual, you know what I'm saying? But as always, busy. We got stuff coming up on February 17th. First of all, we got to start there. Got to talk about our Founders Day coming up for the Coptic Faith, Coptic Nation next Monday. Family, we might have a earlier stream next Monday, so be on the lookout for that. I will be on the social sites, letting everybody know if we're going to start an hour early or not, because we do have service that night. So that's the first step. And then on the 22nd of February, we have the book signing, but now it's called the Black Wall Street event, pop-up event. That's going to be at Prophet David's church. Let me get the screen ready for that. But that's what's coming up. But and then I also have some things going on when I got a book coming out on March the 21st. It's called There Are Only 9 Numbers. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, like I say, I've been working, really just getting busy to everything that's going on. Just been working. What about you?
Brother, it's been the same thing. Working. Just got back home. Came in. I was excited about today's broadcast. Excited every broadcast. As we was talking earlier, just grateful. Last week was a great week. Got a lot of things done, but we very transparent over here at the Pharaohs Podcast, and we very hardworking men. We know what our goals are and what we want, but we're honest with the people because we talked about this earlier, Solomon. Righteousness is the way to go. So all I could do last week was really work. I'm working towards my goal. Like we talked about a few episodes ago, we all going crazy. We're going hard. It's the first quarter, and I truly in my heart not believe, but I know for a fact that, if it's the hard work that it takes, that I'm willing to do it. So that was my week last week, man. It got me excited about today, when just another day to get a chance to talk to the people. What time it is. We got love season around right now. So it's a few things. We had a few events go on over the weekend. But, brother, I must say, maybe it is Founders Day for me, but I'm excited. I feel like whatever I put into that box, you feel me? Whatever I put into the universe is gonna come, not because I'm not worthy of it, but because I'm literally working to get what I'm trying to meet up, for. So to all our Coptic viewers, you know what I'm talking about. To the ones that know, I'm looking to put something in that box that's gonna be able to transform my life. But I'm also working to make sure that I put the work in to make sure that I'm able to keep whatever that is, and able to sustain it. So last week for me was just another week to be able to test myself to be prepared, So, man, life is good right now, bro. We woke up. So, hey, we here. Another broadcast.
There's always a blessing. Waking up is a blessing that we sometimes overlook because not everybody wake up.
Facts.
Not everybody wake up. Some people go to sleep and, they go to that next realm. Yeah. But off the top, like I was talking about, family, we have the pop-up event. The pop-up event. The pop-up event, not that. That's the first topic. That's the first topic. Hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. All right. We got the pop-up event on February the 22nd, which is what's that? The Saturday after next that's coming up. Okay. From 3 to 7 p.m. And I'll be in the building. I'll be in the building. So y'all come and support. Come and support these people in the nation all around who wants to sell their products and have a reason for selling products too. In business, it ain't always about the money. I don't think people should do business and it's just about money anyway. Because if it is, it's gonna fall apart. You need some passion behind it. You need some passion behind it. So we got that going on. And like I say, I have some things coming up as well that I'm going to promote a little bit harder after February the 22nd and after Founders Day of February 17th. Like I say, you guys be on the lookout for what we're going to do with next Monday's episode. Like I say, we might do an hour early. So because we have service that night to celebrate the Founders Day of the Coptic faith on February 17th. All right, so let's get started with what happened yesterday. We can't really say Super Bowl. We're supposed to say the big game in media because they say Super Bowl is owned by somebody. So we can't say that. That's crazy to me. But let's just talk about the big game. The Eagles have officially became the 2025 NFL champions. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs wanted to three-peat. That didn't happen. They stopped at three-peat. Jalen Hurts, Saquon, all of them have stepped their game up, won a big one, and now they are Super Bowl champions. I didn't want to watch this game because my predictions did not come true. Who I thought was going to be in the Super Bowl, but guess what? We got the Eagles winning, which I'm so happy for. They got their first championship. So, Luke, what you want to say about that? Did you have some money on that? Anything going on with the parlays with that?
Absolutely not. Left it alone. Not it. I like the big game, but from a responsible point of view, we talk about this all the time. I take pride in my name. Because you have to understand and you have to watch and understand numbers, and there are certain patterns and there are certain things that, when with better wisdom, you're able to understand. And that's what I like about sports. When it comes to society, period, any type of society or community that you're trying to build, sports is good because competitiveness brings about excellence and it helps you strive for a certain level of excellence. So the numbers didn't make sense. It was just two great teams. So of course I have no money. I don't anything that I can't see a clear vision in, and the numbers is just like adding up in a different way, then I'll be in it that way. Other than that, I enjoyed it. I think it was a competitive game. But I said it earlier, I feel like this was a team playing against a player, and Eagles came as a team. So I appreciate that because it, we look for different things as you working on stuff in your life. No matter what you into, whether it's football, anime, it may be into figure skating, you may be an artist, you may be a writer. Excellence is required because the genres are so big. The big game is not just the first one. So everyone is always looking for something big to happen. And I think it's a monumental thing. And it's a thing that we can all learn from seeing the team be able to pull together. Because if you look at it, it felt like a team versus a quarterback. Yes, you got one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. Absolutely no doubt about that when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. However, the Eagles had, to me, a better system of team. And when that momentum came, when that spirit got right, and I feel like it was after the first interception, the spirit of the team changed the whole dynamic of what was capable, because they began to align with what they were good at. It didn't feel like the leg is trying to be the head and the head is trying to be the arm. It felt like the leg was like, let me know when you need me. I'm right here. Then the arm was like, hold on, wait a minute. So I enjoyed the game because that's the purpose of sports. You learn how to build better societies through competitiveness. Then you're able to implement certain programs that work better. And everybody kind of fall in line in order to get what the mission was. Eagles had a mission. They came in. They wanted to prove a lot of people wrong. And, hey, it was a great day. It was a great day for them. So shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to the Eagles fans.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the Eagles fans. It was a lot going on. I didn't tune into the game until like halftime when I seen Kendrick Lamar's performance. Family, I'm gonna have a breakdown of what I seen and the message that I believe that Kendrick Lamar had for the Super Bowl. That's gonna be on the channel sometime this week. Just be on the lookout for it. I don't know if I'm gonna drop it tomorrow or Thursday. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. But that was when I kind of tuned into the game. And I was like, when you said competitive, I don't know what you mean by competitive. It was a blowout. They was whooping them like 30-0. And when I tuned in, I said, what is this? What is going on?
That momentum was fast, bro. Like that interception, I got excited. I got excited. Because it's like you don't know in the beginning, but that momentum got started. And I mean, even halftime, I feel like they could have came back. But man, Kansas City was missing opportunities, and not only that, giving up good opportunities. In a game that big, you're dealing with a team that's gonna take advantage of whatever weakness you see, whatever weakness they see. And I just felt like it was competitive in the fact of what the numbers thought, because the numbers had it was at +3.5 when the game started. So that's usually when you can tell how close a game is thinking to be. Of course, even the books were shocked when they seen everybody was shocked.
I saw that. I said, what is going on? But I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't want the Chiefs to win because I just felt like, I don't know if I was getting stale or what it was. I wasn't into it, especially after my teams were lost. I wasn't into it anymore. But I am happy that I was going to say Falcons. They wish down here in Atlanta, they want the Falcons to be in the Super Bowl so bad. But yeah, I don't see that happening no time soon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the Atlanta listeners out there. I don't believe. Y'all might be a little better than the Bears, but that's it. But yeah, so shout out to all of them over there in Philadelphia. Shout out to the Eagles for winning. Like I said, I really wasn't really paying attention to the game, especially after my teams had fell out. But hey, there's always next year for the ones that I really want to win. But at the same time, I'm not going to take anything away from the Philadelphia Eagles. They did their thing. They defense showed up and was like, nah, this is not happening.
Yeah, bro. They came
not this year. Y'all ain't gonna three-peat on us. We ain't gonna be the team y'all three-peat on.
They came in there on a mission, brother. They came in there on a mission. So
they definitely did. So I'm like, hey. But I mean, other than that, family, we got a lot of stuff that was going on when it came to I want to say Trump and his executive orders. We got to name it something else because I feel like he is not playing with a lot of the stuff he said he wanted to get done. He's making it happen right away. Like, he not waiting on Congress to back him. He not waiting on none of that. He's just like, this got to happen. So he has some more interesting ones. I didn't write them all down, but I just want people to understand that do not panic. This isn't the end of the world. See a lot of people online so worried and so upset about, where the country is headed. And I just want people to continue to pray and continue to believe that God has it's a master plan. It's a master plan of everything that even Trump can't control. So stop worrying. Jeez, stop worrying. Y'all be worrying for nothing.
Hey, it is. I agree with you. It's a lot of stuff going on, and I think you telling the people right, because we come to understand that sometimes as people, we focus on things that we'll put too much energy into things that we can't control. It's not about not being knowledgeable. There was a great man that once walked in this great city that said you have your Bible in your one hand and your newspaper in the other. So we're never ignoring. If anything, we probably are two of the prophets, and like we really look into it to understand and to know. But what we always remember is that there are certain systems that are set in place. And if you understand it, you understand how to flow. This is why, even if you look at some of the comments, so many people thought, oh, well, he wants this person. It's not that. I didn't choose how 2025 was going to go. All I can do is look and evaluate and say, okay, where do me and my people stand and where can we benefit from? That's what young leaders are supposed to learn to do, because we don't know nothing. We have to start off with the small things. So one of the orders that came through right now that a lot of people have said about is that the education system is going to be getting looked at. Now, I love this conversation, Solomon, because I'm a father. So you can't tell me I'm not qualified. I'm definitely qualified. And before that, I'm also someone that went through the United States school system as you did as well. So I'm definitely qualified because I went through it in some way. I got a right to say how I feel. And there's no reason why I went to a school that did not have a barber school. There's no reason why I went to a school that did not have a lawyer training school like the schools used to have. So to sit here at 29 and try to convince me that some of this money ain't going to where it need to be going, I ain't talking from somebody else's experience. I'm talking from my own. We know there are some issues going on with that money, and it needs to be looked into, because I do care about my children's future, and I do pay my dues. So I pay my dues. I want my money to go to what I put my money into. So it's not so much a Trump, it's that it's hard to make that not make sense. So when he say, well, I'm gonna get the power back to the states, that's better, because clearly somebody is in there writing checks to stuff that has nothing to do with us. And you and I are two people that went through the American system, bro. You can speak from yourself and saying, ain't no way we shouldn't have had no money. We got all this money. Why didn't we have money for the simple things, not extravagant things as people in the education system? We talking about simple, bare necessities, decent books that are not falling apart. This country got too much money for that. So then you want to convince me at 29 that he wrong for saying, hey, that's not right. That ain't wrong. If Barack Obama would have said it, I would have said, yeah, he right. He just didn't say it. So I'm not going to blame the messenger. I'm looking at the message. I've been through it, and I got children that are in it right now. So yeah, I'm all about seeing what's going on. Where all this money going? Where is this money going that's supposed to be for these babies? And then we want them to be doctors and lawyers and all that. How are we going to get them to do that if we can't even put it in their high schools? No. You feel me?
That's real.
Hey.
That's real. There's people down here that's like, man, well, how I'm going to pay for college and things of that nature. And you guys have to wait for the overall plan to develop. It might be something that's something that we all talk about, and that is like how expensive college is. Maybe long term, there's a plan where it's like it won't be as expensive anymore, or maybe be less expensive, more affordable, where it could be about real practice. I know they want to go back to the is it called the merit-based system, where they're trying to focus on your skills, being more qualified. I think that's another reason why he got rid of the DEI whole program and things of that nature. Like you say a lot of times, Luke, I don't care about the color of your skin. Are you qualified to fly this plane? You know, don't be always an inclusive, like, well, let's hire the next such and such. Let's do the next such and such thing. And let us be somebody who has studied and actually mastered the craft for me to feel comfortable about allowing them to do this. I mean, like I say, there's different executive orders that people are trying to panic about, and they don't need to. Stop the panic, stop the brakes. You know God got you, so just relax. If that makes sense. Just hold on a second. Hold on. Relax. Pump your brakes. It's not the end of the world. I was gonna get into some stuff. Like the world ended back in 2012 for real already. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that just for a second before we get into the whole Valentine's Day thing, because I know that's a holiday that's coming up this Friday, this weekend. I know all the hotels is booked up. I know all the hotels booked up. They about to exercise that sexual stimulus, Prophet. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I said something about that before we get into Valentine's Day. And just to kick it off with the whole Valentine's Day discussion, we titled this episode "Will You Be My Valentine?" So, ladies, if your man didn't ask you, I'm gonna ask you, will you be my Valentine? Empresses, queens, the ones all in between.
Yeah, I know Solomon crazy.
No, but so let's just discuss Valentine's Day real quick and just how things are. First of all, we all know that every year that it comes around, every year somebody wants to be celebrated. And I'm gonna always say, I always continue to say, don't wait for that day to celebrate somebody, okay? Especially Valentine's Day. Show that you love a person, if you really love a person, all year round. Don't wait for a special day all the time, because let's say things happen, right? Let's say your money tight. What if you can't buy a gift on February 14th, but you was able to buy a gift in November? You was able to buy a gift in January, but February came around. Now you don't have a gift, and then you didn't even. You bought the gift, so you kind of covering yourself a little bit. She'll remember, or he'll remember, but then you got the people who ain't did nothing all year round, and then now you're trying to do something. Don't set yourself up for failure like that, brother. Don't set yourself up for failure. That's bad. Don't do it. But what you want to say, Luke, about Valentine's Day before I get into the whole why we shouldn't even really be caring about it like that?
Yeah, I knew you was gonna get into it and was gonna break it down to the people on, the whole history of it. But if I was to say on the basis of it, as I get older, I understand the need for things like this. Again, I'm a young man studying society, trying to understand the ticks and the tops and what gives people enthusiasm to be on a rock that's just spinning in circles and circles and not get bored. I'm trying to understand. So it gave me a little bit of more sympathy for, things like Valentine's Day and things like that. Because at first I didn't think of it as big. But if I was to say from the relationship standpoint, or even just being a figure in society where you are orchestrating some kind of relationship with somebody, it's definitely necessary, like Solomon said, to do stuff like this year round. Because what you will find is that, appreciation comes in many different ways. So it's not about getting stuff. We all know that everybody gonna say, well, it may not be that. It doesn't have to be about that. And they're absolutely correct. I don't think it's anything you said when it comes to that that's incorrect, because I used to think about it all the time. Relationships, like Valentine's Day, is like an example of what some people may have in smaller situations. So let's say somebody, the gift might be cooking somebody a dinner. You know, it may not be going to the store and actually getting a physical product, or it may be going out to the park. As I got older, I kind of understand, like, yo, these are things that really make a big difference. But there is some deepness into Valentine's Day. Now, we over here at the Pharaohs Podcast, you know, we understand the spiritual and the natural. Never get it twisted. We're very educated young men, but you ain't never gonna fool us. You ain't never gonna put nothing on us, because you can't put nothing on us, because we too wise for that. We come out the class school of wisdom, so we can really break some stuff down to you. However, it's our job to let y'all know what's going on, no matter how much it's uncomfortable, because Solomon about to break it down to you. It's our job to let you know what's going on so that you can make your own decisions. See, that's why we started the podcast. We'll let you know what's going on, but you're still a free person to make your own decisions. But you're supposed to know. If we don't tell you, we ain't doing our job. We're supposed to at least tell you. So I'm going to let Solomon break it down to you and let y'all know what's really going on. And while all this money about to start getting spent, money, products, advertising, oh yeah, it's a new boat coming around. Go on, break it down to him, bro.
All right. Let's get into it, family. Now, I know how y'all finna take this. Y'all finna get in y'all feelings. Y'all about to get in y'all feelings like y'all normally do. But it's okay. It's okay. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit so y'all can see this a little better. How's that? That's okay. Is that readable? I should zoom in some more. A little bit more, okay.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
All right, family. Y'all know I like when I like to talk about what the holidays and stuff. I like to show y'all. This also comes from another book of mine. The same book, 369 Questions to Ask the Black Coptic Nation. Okay, and the question was, does we talked about Christmas, we talked about New Year's, and the question was, does Valentine's Day get a pass? And so I said the answer, right? The answer is everyone wants to celebrate love. But the origin of this holiday is not about loving your significant other at all. Now, me and Luke and I just talked about, the whole thing about appreciating a person and being able to love on a person all year round, okay? So we're not saying that you shouldn't celebrate love, but I'm telling you where it actually came from, okay? You should celebrate the love, not the lust of your significant other, anytime you can show gratitude. This holiday is the commercial use of love. It's a money grab, okay? The ancient Romans may also be responsible for the name of our modern day of love, okay? Emperor Claudius II executed two men, both named Valentine, on February 14th of different years in the 3rd century, okay? Claudius II outlawed marriage because he thought men don't make good Roman soldiers. Married men don't make good Roman soldiers because they will want to stay home with their wives. Now, this is just all history origin stuff. Preposterous to me. I believe that people who have something to fight for, make the best soldiers. That's what I would say. Okay, a little bit more information. Their matron was honored by the Catholic Church with the celebration of St. Valentine's Day. Later, another pope, Pope Gelasius the First, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, I'm probably butchering his name, muddled things in the 5th century by combining St. Valentine's Day with the Lupercalia to expel the pagan rituals. In honor of Lupercus, a festival was instituted on February 14th at midnight, where the festivals involved all forms of sexual debauchery and lewd acts of fornication. Today, the holiday is big business, according to the market research firm IBIS World. Valentine's Day sales reached 17.6 billion last year. These sales were expected to total of 18.6 billion. This is back in 2017, 2018. So these numbers could be real inflated by now in 2025. So like I said, family, there's different reasons that the Romans decided to give to us about what Valentine's Day is and what it means and what it represents. It's not always about love. It's about the commercial use of your love, your pockets, capitalizing off certain things. There's more to it. I don't know if Luke want to add on to it, because I know there's more to Valentine's Day. So that was just a couple of things that I wanted to share that I wrote about a few years ago.
Nah, you definitely you hit it around the head on exactly what I was thinking to go into it about. I think this is why we always have to be careful, you know. And we talk about a lot of maturity and a lot of growing on this channel, and we talk about being able to get knowledge and being able to apply it. I've come to learn over years that once you learn something, it's not about bashing, but it's about making choices on being able to decide what you want to do from that step on. And one thing that I always loved is like when there's certain holidays, and this is something we should do. Now we talking about it. We talking to the melanated people really right now. One thing we should not ever feel compelled or forced or peer pressured into doing is celebrating any holiday given by anybody that has ever oppressed us. You wouldn't ask the Jews to do it, and I wouldn't expect the Jews to do it. You wouldn't ask the Hispanics to do it, and I wouldn't expect them to do it. So don't ever think you're gonna ask us to do it, because we don't have to. It's not law. It's not a part of my art to do what you do because I live in the same land as you. I ain't really. Some of us ain't asked to come over here. Let's be real. Some of us was already over here and y'all came and bothered us. So this is the mindset that I want a lot of our viewers to get, because when you walk with that type of mindset, you learn how to respect people, but you also learn how to walk in the way till they'll begin to ask you, well, why don't you do that? Well, what's the purpose? Like, why you feel that way? So you're not imposing your theory. You're not imposing your beliefs on them. You're showing them through the examples. Hey, you know what? I'll make my own holiday. Like, you can do that. There's nobody said you can't. Then you end up making your own holiday for your own people. And then 20 years down the line, now you're playing the same game, but you're playing it in the right way. Everybody got to make money. We use holidays, every culture, even African cultures, they use special days and holidays in order to gain finance for the benefit of the society. Meaning, how can I get a group of people to feel compelled to spend their money together at the same time? I have to create holidays. It's not nothing new and it's not nothing wrong with it. It's necessary in order to keep people sane. Other than that, all you'll do is go to work and come home and go to work and come home. You need to have something to where you say, you know what? Today, even though I show you all the time I love you, I'm gonna really show you today that I love you. I want to do something special. Let's go up the street to the mom and pop's market, and I'm gonna go and get you some flowers from Mr. Eddie Flower Shop. Now, Mr. Eddie is able to expect the increase in sales during this time of season. So he's able to prepare his business. Watch how this goes now. He gonna reach out to the other person and prepare his business in order to benefit from that. That's why I say, you see, there's nothing wrong with it. This is how we eat and survive. It's a part of human nature. But what Solomon is exposing is that you want to eventually become the person who is the creator, not the one who's just going along with the bandwagon because you feel like everybody else is. You can have your own stuff. You can make your own things that are built upon your morals or your values or what you find to be important. So, that's where I'm at with it now. Hey, people got to know. Now they know. And we ain't saying you ain't got to celebrate, but get into the mindset, because that's what we at over here. We freeing from the matrix. We getting away. They may not like it, but we getting away from feeling like we're compelled to do things that we do not have to do. We know how to love each other more in our ways. And when it comes to African people, I say divulge into your African culture, because we had certain goddesses. We had certain love days. We did things too. We would go spend some money up the street, go get our baby something too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But do it in a way of that works with your culture, because then you will bypass all of these hidden things that happened in the past that had nothing to do with us. This is why we don't do what the Romans do. It was certain things going on in their culture that just does not fly when it comes to us. And we have to be able to call it out and say what it is. So I'm glad you exposed that. Because now the people know. They say class is in session. That's just the tip of the iceberg, to be honest with you, too.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. I ain't put too much more into it like that, but it's a lot going on. And going back to what you said about the creation of things, there's nothing bad about creating new things outside of like what the oppressor's history is. Like, Black people are not Romans. Like, you got to understand that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to be a group of people where we understand our own power and not just be falling to the wayside of what everybody else is doing. We talked about this a few weeks ago on the podcast about, how important marriage is in other cultures. They're married. The Middle Easterns, the Africans, all of these people from other countries decide to stick together. But here in America, the African American population, or whatever you want to say, the minorities, whatever words you want to use, but the people of color have one of the highest rates of divorce. Why? Whose laws are we following when it comes to relationships? Are we even teaching each other the right things that we should be learning when it comes to relationships and how to build a family structure? Now you're going to say, well, Solomon, are you married? No, I'm not married yet, but that's something I actually want to do. You ask other brothers out here, they don't want y'all. They don't want to be in relationships with y'all. And y'all should think to yourself, well, how come these Black men don't want to be in relationships with these Black women? Are they want to say gay? That's not even true. That's not even true. There are real situations and things that have occurred where Black people don't want to be married and be together no more. And that's a real serious issue that we need to address in our community, because if we don't, we're going to continue to go down this whole long road of not being married and not being in a stable house and stable family structure. We need to get back to that. We don't want to be the so-called weakest generation of men of all time. And no, we don't have to join the army to be real men. I see a lot of that stuff online too. Why don't they just die in wars anymore? Because what's the reward for fighting for people who don't even like us? That's the thing. The way that these niggas ain't shit. Oh, excuse my language. All of it, but this is true of what's going on. You get what I'm saying? These are true things that's happening in our society, where most of the women are saying that they don't want Black men to protect them, to love them, to do all of the things that we're supposed to do. So if you're constantly saying in the atmosphere, I don't need a man, and you're constantly saying in the atmosphere, well, men don't do this, men don't do that, and then they're saying, well, I might as well just be with a woman. then all of the men are looking around are saying, okay, then what is the purpose of me wanting to be an upright man and do the right thing and take care of a family when I am being verbally torn down when it comes to the woman or the women I'm supposed to love? We have to fix the way we talk to each other. Just like how the Black men need to understand how to be trained and educated Black men and upright Black men. What does that mean? Well, that means stepping up to your responsibility as a Black man to take care of your family. If you got that woman pregnant, take care of your children. They part of you. They have half of your DNA.
Absolutely.
So they are you. Yeah, they came out of this woman. Most children be looking just like their father. So at the end of the day, you're looking at you. You're looking at a carbon copy of yourself. We're going to be positive on the podcast. That's what we're going to do. No matter what is going on in our world and things of that nature, of what is happening, we're going to make sure that our voice is going to continue to be heard to say, look, we're going to be right and stand up. Let God lead us. Let the universe teach us our lessons. Let God lead us. And we're going to do the right thing as Black men, because there are more positive Black men in the world than you see negative, actually. But they don't want to show that part on social media and in the news and all of these things. I'm down here in Atlanta, and they have a lot of educated Black men that are at these colleges, at Morehouse, at Clark, Atlanta, all of these places where these Black men are going to school, trying to do the right thing, make a living, and take care of their families. So I don't want to hear that Black men aren't stepping up to the plate. No, they are. We have to get out of the la-la land that every man's supposed to make $200,000 every year for him to be a good man to you.
Well, that's why we here. That's why we here, because we come back. We fighting. And for all the negative stuff that they say, that's why we get on here every week. Because it's not about being perfect. It's about actually striving. It's enough voices that are telling, Black men, you can't do this. You already messed up. They know that already. Like, we know we got obstacles and stuff we done went through, and family trauma, and some of us got mom and dad issues. We know that. Thank you for the reminder, because it always comes no matter where I scroll, or I'm just so tired of them. And yeah, because that's the game. If I blow up the small amount, and granted, I do live in one of what they call the most dangerous cities in the world. Okay, I pick up people at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not speaking from somebody who just talking and ain't in it and ain't seeing it. I meet a lot of people, hundreds of people a week. I'm grateful. That's why I love what I do. I'm able to connect, because my goal is to figure out what the issue is. I have that in my bloodline somewhere to where we solve issues, we solve societal problems. I don't need all the glory and I don't need all the fame. Like Martin Luther King say, I may not meet you on the mountaintop. I ain't worried about that. I'm worried about doing my part while I'm in this realm, so that then when it's my time, I'm gonna smile because I did what I was supposed to do. So Solomon makes a great point on saying, look, they are trying to tell you all these Black men ain't bad. Yes, there are bad apples in every society, in every group. There are people who are not going to do their best. But also we have to remember, we got accustomed, and I talk about this a lot, to holding young men to the same accountability that we at once used to hold men 10, 20 years their age. So there became a thing to where the young men had to take the role of their fathers because their fathers was gone. And then now you mad at them because they not as good. That's not fair. That's not right. That's not how you do it. You have to understand the context of why the 20-year-old, 21-year-old, and 23-year-old is being expected to have a mind of a 45-year-old. And then we get upset with him that he doesn't. Come on, you got to get a brother some time. He gonna make some mistakes. He gonna do things that are not right, because he's still trying to figure out where he fits into society. And at that stage, and our way of life is known as the Royal Prince stage, the greatest stage that it ever was. You hit me, that there will ever be. because you begin to understand who you are as a young man and where you fit into society and how you can build up the house of God, how you able to be somebody that's useful. This is a stage, and this is why I fight for it so much, Solomon, because it's such a critical stage. This is why they attack that stage. The media, they attack these young brothers at a certain time, because around that time, the mind begins to change. The mind begins to be able to compare and contrast. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a young man. So my actions have a great consequence. But if we sitting here making it seem like every other brother you look on the street is shooting and you're crazy if you think that. Have you seen some of these young black men now? There's a black man that partnered up with an African in Africa, and they building cars right now. Show me the meme for that one. Show me that one on my scroll time list. Why I gotta look that up over 3-4 articles for that to be big. But if you ain't gonna promote them, we gonna promote them over here, because there's stuff like that happening all the time. EMT workers, black men, young black men, out there on the back of the truck with the wee, trying to come and help you out. Everybody ain't shooting, but we can't fall into the game of promoting that negativeness. No, we call them out and we do what we can to help them young brothers, because at some point you can't do something for some people. You got to let it be what it be. We understood that as black people because we are the creators of Ma'at. We made law and order. You break a certain law, it just is what it is because you knew better. We're not saying to just overlook that. We're saying to make sure that we praise those people and those people in our community and our society that are doing good and doing great things for the benefit of generations. And getting on your phone, because everybody get on their phone, Solomon. Everybody can make a video. Everybody can make a TikTok. But it has to be an effort to take time, like how we do, and we're going to keep doing it because we love doing it. But we're going to come over here with some positive news because there is greater ahead. The future does look bright. The goal is not to get distracted by all of the flashy things that are going on right now, because the distraction to get you just like, oh man, what road was we on? And my grandfather always used to tell us that we have to stay on the narrow road. It's a small road. It's not invisible. It's just a lot of things trying to keep you off of it. They didn't make the Wizard of Oz for no reason. Pretty sure Solomon will break that down for y'all one day when he do his series. They ain't make that movie for no reason. They were they were giving a generational message to that generation, letting them know what was about to come. So now that we here, bro, we see the relationships are in struggle right now. And if we don't say something about it, it's going to be hard to fix it in the future. But it is our job to do it. So, I mean, like you said, man, we praising the positive things that's going on over here. So that's my opinion on it.
Exactly. And then also, family, we have to understand that, just because you don't understand what a genius is, like what they look like, don't think that everybody crazy. Just because they say something different or you can't see somebody else's vision, don't mean they wrong. It does not mean they wrong just because you can't see what they talking about, what their vision is. Okay. So, and I brought that up because Kanye West is in the news right now talking about he got some shirts online with a swastika, all white shirts with a black swastika that's selling on his website. Now, everybody keep talking about, he's talking about he's a Nazi. We're going to cancel Kanye again. He's losing his mind. He's off his meds and all of this other stuff. Do y'all know what a swastika actually came from? Do y'all understand what it actually means and why Hitler used it himself? That's a whole different conversation about what if Hitler is even bad or not. We can talk about that. Well, that might be on Patreon or something. That's something like real deep, because people get offended when you talk about certain stuff that in American history we were taught in public and high school and grammar school and stuff like that. We were taught certain things, and then it's like, oh, that's bad. It's so negative and all this other stuff. But then when you look deeper into it, when it comes to actual history outside of what they programmed us to learn, or like how Luke would say, scheduled us to learn throughout school, when you look beyond just what you saw in your classroom, you get to know more information. That's why I study the way I do. That's why Luke studies the way he does. We look beyond just what we were always taught in school. We don't have master degrees in education, but I guarantee you we could teach some people some stuff. Throughout American history, sometimes I go more towards the contemporary Luke kind of goes a little bit further towards the ancient Egyptian stuff a lot of times. But I mean, I know a little bit of that too, but we go outside of certain stuff, the realm of normacy of what normal people think things are. And then you figure out that, oh, it's not as what they thought it was. So Kanye West with the whole swastika, people trying to call him racist and all that stuff. So what? So what? Just because everybody else in America don't understand what the swastika symbol is, don't mean that he is trying to praise racism or separation or trying to divide the country. People got to really stop thinking that because you don't know something that person is wrong. That's why you ask questions. That's why questions was invented. That's why when your teacher asks, hey, there's no stupid questions. Raise your hand and ask. If you are curious about something and you need to inquire about it. I know people are like, well, behind you, what does this mean? What is that flag? Why does he have that in his background every episode? I'm going to break that down too. But ask the question so you won't be out here looking like, I don't know what's going on. Ignorance isn't, you blame yourself for ignorance. We living in an age of information. That's what they're calling this. They officially calling this, what we're living in right now, the age of information. There was the industrial age, the agricultural age, if you study history. You got the age of technology, and now this is kind of like slash of that because we still have technology growing. This is the age of information. So it's your duty for you not to be ignorant. Ignorance is a choice. Being ignorant, not knowing something, that's your fault. There's nobody else's fault but yours. When you want to know something, you ask somebody. God gave us all gifts for us to utilize. If you want to be that person who want to bury their gift, that's on you. Nobody's fault but yours. Continue to cultivate what God gave you. Continue to exercise your gifts, because that is what is going to make you more successful than any other thing in your life. I write books, and I also write books for other people. So what did I do? Instead of being selfish with my gift and only writing books and don't tell nobody how to do it, don't share my information, don't even write for my nation, because that's what I do. I'm doing it for the people. I'm doing it for our own history, right? So if I was to be selfish and not utilize my talent, or if I never write again, that's being selfish. So if I don't be the best, or if I don't ever get on the bestsellers list, that's my fault because I stopped. There's pressure that you need to put on yourself to do and be the best that you can be. Don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. Because like the Candace Queen Shifra used to tell us all the time, only what you do for God will last. So don't be ignorant. Just because you don't understand something, don't mean that other person is wrong. The reason why I used to debate so much online was because I knew exactly what my opponent was going to say to me. Like I knew what we was going to talk about was going to make the whole situation like a really good back and forth. But I knew what my opponent was going to say about religion and spirituality, because if I didn't go to one school of thought or one class school of wisdom, then I couldn't bring the new information in to you to be like, okay, well, that's wrong, or that's actually not what they were talking about. I couldn't really teach anything if I didn't go through the same type of beginnings as everybody else. All I did was just go a little bit further.
Yeah, I mean, and then at some point, you know, I said it before, and I told you I'm gonna coin it. I'm gonna coin the term because the term of we have to have a higher opinion of ourselves is indeed a true fact. So I always thought to myself, okay, they taught us that. Now I know that. It's my job now to turn that opinion into an absolute fact. Meaning, I know that I'm capable of reaching my goals and my dreams, but I want that mindset to actually make it into something that's real, make it into something that's tangible, so that I can say I was able to take my opinion and make it an absolute fact that I do have a higher opinion of myself. I earned it now. So I feel like it's a responsibility of being taught back to yourself. Once you are taught back to yourself, that's not the end. Now it's time to make everybody around you uncomfortable. And it is hard a lot of times because, we don't always want to be that person. But it is a job that is given to those who know better and who are trying to do better. Because at the end of the day, everything you do, when you're doing things and you're doing it in righteousness, it is going to touch somebody. You may not even be around to see it, how it's going to help somebody in the time of their need. Or you might not even see the whole, what they call the butterfly effect, on how a good deed or doing something that is necessary is going to benefit someone's life down the line. So you got to ask yourself, what you here to do? Like, what are you here for? Outside of working and going home and family, you need that. But everything now is given to us. We got the phone. They messed up when they gave us the phone because now we got all the information. So everything we were being taught that they were saying wasn't true, we can now see is true. The things that our leaders was coming and saying, hey, this one day y'all gonna see. This is who you are and this is where you come from. We ain't even got to debate that anymore. The debating is done. That season passed. That season came and went. No one is going to debate on the greatness that we have now, bro. You know how it is now. All it's going to be is, okay, now you know, so what you going to do about it? You going to sit on your thumb? You going to just sit on your hands for another 10 years and say to yourself, oh, woe is me, while all these melanated people are we want to live. We don't want to just survive. But now the ball is in our court. Ain't nobody in the way. Not no more. The ancestors did their job. They did their job. Now it's up to us to say thank you for all these riches. I thank you, kind spirit, for the knowledge. Because whether it's Bitcoin, you may just invest into Clorox. I don't care what you do. The fact is now we know there are more things to do in order to sustain ourselves and to be able to survive in this society and to be able to flourish in this society. It's so much more we can do now as people. So, like I said, Solomon, they messed up when they gave us the phone because they say knowledge is power. Now we know right from wrong, and we know that everything ain't lining up, and we don't have to live in a way to where we feel defeated before we even tried. We ain't doing that over here.
Yeah, facts. I don't be playing about all that woe is me energy. There's things that I go through. Like there's that life's okay. Life's life. Life be lifing, as they say. Okay, life be lifing. And you can't just give up on yourself because things get hard. Because you know what's so crazy? A lot of people, they die from the storm. Like the storm come into their life and they let it knock over their ship. Instead of, going through the storm, and putting their sail back out once the sun is shining, once that storm is over, they let the storm rock them and they just fall over. They fall into the deep and they don't never want to come out that sunken place like they was trying to show us up and get out. They don't want to fight for their life. Yeah. And now I see why people keep saying, this generation might be smarter, but they're going to get probably weaker because, yeah, you can be smart. You can know a lot of things, but it's about enduring. As they say, the race isn't given to the swift or the strong, but you got to endure certain things that come into your life and the aptitude of trouble. Once stuff happens, and it happens, and then you move forward. And that's even if you have to deal with a punishment. That's even if you have to deal with whatever consequence happens. Like the queen always tell us, the minister queen has said, so you can choose whatever action you want to take, but you can't choose the consequence that come after.
Mm-hmm. That's why we gotta be wise, man. This is the year of wisdom. Like, we gotta be wise and watch what's going on, because, hey, Solomon, I feel, bro, the blessings are coming, but it's coming to those who are willing to work. And even if that work is getting rid of bad habits, meaning, it's stuff you need to get done. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about actually picking up the calendar. You pick it up and you write it down, and you do something different than you did the day before. It may not be the biggest step, but I do truly believe that is going to be a part of what anything we're doing, even when it comes to media. I hope there's somebody that's been watching this like, man, I've been wanting to do the same thing they doing. That's the reason we do it. You know why? Because we used to sit there and talk about it. And eventually you get tired of talking about it. How can you grow and you still talking about the same thing you wanted to do? So then we was like, well, let's just do it. We don't know who we might have motivated to do something. And even if you never tell us thank you, that's not the purpose. The purpose is to do it, because you may be the next billionaire. You may be the next person who then started a whole clothing hairline because of an idea or a thought, or just tuning in to us and being like, man, that was motivating what they said. If that, like I say, Solomon, all the time, that one day, what do we know? When you're born and you die. But my goal, I want to die as a warrior. And I know I'm on the battlefield of information right now. I'm dealing with the battlefield of the energy. They trying to pull the energy down and get our people not excited. No. Y'all gonna have to take me out in order for that, because I can't. I can't do it. But if they get me, I'm okay, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I've been there before where it felt like everything was falling apart. But I've also can tell the story. I can tell my story, and I can say, I'm not big on material things, but I understand when you need things. There's been times I had to sacrifice in order to get what I needed or to save what I needed. And there was times where it was the most embarrassing thing. At one point I ain't got no vehicle. We need vehicles in America. You got to get to where you got to get. You getting to work. You know what you got to do. Man, I hopped my butt on the bike and I got to where I got to go until I got that car. I can literally say I did it because I really did it. But what that taught me as a young man is that, like Solomon saying, I had to put the sail up. I ain't got my car no more. Unfortunately, somebody had T-boned my car, and I ain't having no more for a while. This was a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, and I'm on my bike trying to get to work, make money, and but I had to learn. It's not about what I had; it's about the mindset that I was able to carry about from what happened to me. That was a test for me to be able to say, okay, if you want what you say you want, you have to get prepared. Because if you think that was bad, like we always say, everybody want the money, but don't want the problems. Everybody want the fame and the success, but they don't want the problems. The universe, God did not make it that way. He did not. Unfortunately, it's not my design.
That's what Kevin Hart used to say. Everybody want to be famous. Nobody want to put the work in.
Nobody want to put the work in. And then even when you put the work in, what everybody trying to do, they're trying to destroy it, tear down. We get criticism from just doing this weekly. You would think we make millions of dollars a week. Like we getting some. Like, no, we don't care nothing about that. It's about, we know that the message that we got, the blessings that we got from the teachings we are getting and we have gotten is beneficial to some people who just are not able to get it. Are we going to give you all the sauce? Absolutely not. You got to come to Class School of Wisdom to get all of the sauce. But what we can give you is an insight onto understanding that there are attributes that you can learn from what we have gotten. And you might be on the other side of the world, but if you're getting something from us, that's a blessing, because at the end of the day, you could be tuned into anything on your Monday. You could be tuned into anything while you're listening on Spotify. Shout out to our Spotify listeners. Shout out to those who've been listening to us at work. We just trying to put some positive energy into y'all, man. So that's my take on it, man. Shout out to the subscribers. Shout out to the people who like the channel. We love y'all, man. I enjoy this. I enjoy it.
I do as well. Yeah, definitely shout out. And which brings me to, of course, my favorite segment, Ask the Pharaohs. And we have a question, Luke, and this is from one of the new subscribers. Her name is Rhea.
Okay.
And she had a question because she showed another scenario. I love these too. I love when y'all give me a scenario to give to the fellas, and then we're able to have a whole question and commentate on this whole thing. So she had an interesting situation. Rhea was talking about, she has a young son, and she talks about putting on educational material for her young son growing up. And she said she noticed that a lot of the children programming is like a lot of women led things. So some of the cartoons and stuff of that nature, like I say, the educational material. So she just wanted to talk about, or I guess ask us, like, why aren't there many other, I guess, male influences for the young Black men? She wants more projects, more mentorships catered to Black men. So she's basically saying, why do we think there might be a lack of, or maybe she don't see as much?
I understand that. Shout out to you as well. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for just the question alone. It was many episodes ago. I got a lot of flack for this. It was a similar thing about the influence of males in young children's lives, and it kind of plays a part into why you don't see it that much in the young educational side. Is not so much that males are not able to, is that we kind of express it in a different way. So I don't know the actual age of your son, but I'm using my imagination. If he's like younger than 10,
Yeah, he's younger. He's like younger than 10.
yeah. So that would be, so in that instance, it'd be a little bit harder to get that from media. At that age, what you would want to do with him is you would want to try to invest. It's not easy. It does cost, especially with young boys, because we're a little bit more physical. We can learn through the tablets and through the computers and through the educational videos. But at that stage, that's when you get them into some type of martial arts or something that is, with young boys, you want to be able to train them to take defeat. If you can get your son to understand how to emotionally take defeat, meaning not being the best because something wrong with you, but because you have to work towards it, this is what really starts molding them into good young men. For some people, that's marching band. That's how it was for me. I loved music. So, but in band, there was a tier level. There was the good, really good musicians, and there was the rookies. There was the ones who had to learn. It taught me as a young man how to handle that and to not feel so emotionally, personally attacked. So the education that he may need may not be exactly 1, 2, 3. It may be how to handle not getting the equation right all the time. Then that way, once he gets into situations where you're not around, he's emotionally stable. That's why I say usually it's going to be some type of martial arts or something competitive, even for some young men around that age, getting them into some kind of boxing, something to where they can learn to be defeated. But it ain't the end of the world. I just pick myself up and I dust myself off and I get right back to it. For some young men, it's spelling bees. There are some young men that are amazing spellers. But the thing about a spelling bee, right? You're gonna get some of them answers wrong. It's good for young men to get that in their system in that age, because it will create a phenomenal young man when they get older, because then they're not going to be shaken by every single thing that comes. So just look at it as a way of, you may not see it, because in reality a lot of those things would be geared towards most of that mother nurturing figure is going to come with the 1, 2, 3s a lot more than the male is. So I wouldn't even say it's a bad thing. It's kind of like nature. It's how we all operate. But there is still things you can do for him to where it may not be physically the video. It may be him having to have a coach or have a sensei, or like have somebody who he can be like, yo, he's not playing with me. Not only do he want my grades good, he's expecting me to be emotionally stable or be able to handle this hurdle. I think that would be a good thing for you to think about, or see if it may be something that will work good for your son. And you'll know about what he likes or what he's naturally inclined to. It's for some young men. I'm gonna show you how broad the scale is, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Solomon. For some young men, it might just be putting them in chess class. It's still competitive. Everybody not gonna be in there fighting. Everybody not gonna have the dojo teacher. Everybody not gonna. It's not every young man is not the same. There are a lot of them that are different, but there are so many different things that teach us the basic fundamentals of being able to accept defeat and then come back and fight harder. And under the age of 10, between 7 and 10, oh, if you get them like that, watch when you get in high school, and you're going to be like, good Lord, he's just going to be coming with awards and honor roll, and my man ain't nothing. I wasn't good in this subject one day, but I just kept working at it. I went to the tutoring class. It becomes a natural thing that we learn from being in programs and things like that. So I'll turn it over to Solomon and let him go in on it.
Yeah, Raya, I was just going to say, like how we talked about before, there are mentoring options that are available. You just have to, search for them. And it doesn't have to always be sports either, especially for the boys of color. Understand that the same opportunities aren't going to be always in the neighborhood that you probably grew up in. So you're going to have to venture out, you know what I'm saying, and look for these other opportunities, like Luke said, like karate. I did karate when I was younger. I thought that was really good. It taught me a lot of discipline. I cried. Sensei made me cry one time, man.
I cried too, bro. I cried too in my class. Man, took me down.
Sensei made me cry one time, man. And my mom was looking at me like, are you serious, dude? I was hurt, but he just look, it teaches really good discipline. But like you say, look for these opportunities outside. And it wasn't in my neighborhood when I went to karate too. I did have to travel a little bit just to get to those type of practices and things of that nature. So don't be afraid when it comes to even the educational things. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of early childhood things like that are really geared because the women are, the teachers. Most teachers are girls, are women, really. When you think about the people that you went to school with and all that stuff, most of the daycares are filled with women. So it's not, it's not a bad thing. But when it's time for him to continue to grow and to develop, make sure you put him in those situations where he learns from the older men or the big brothers. Okay, so make sure that he's in those type of environments where he can learn some more things. If you have that type of problem, if the father isn't around and things like that, make sure you look for the cousins, the uncles, even some of the people from the chess club, the people that's doing the karate. If it ain't sports, like the coach and things of that nature, make sure you put your son in an environment where if you feel like, okay, it's time for him to be around the boys more, make sure you put him around the boys more. That would be my advice to that. And make sure you continue to understand that even when it comes to education and tutoring, there are a lot of great Black educators. And I know he's young, but it reminds me, your whole story reminds me of when I was in school for psychology, and my professor was a Black man, which intrigued me even more to continue to learn and continue to grow in my field. So, my study. I didn't graduate yet, but so it's important for you to make sure that you have positive role models around him, for him to continue to learn and continue to grow. Make sure your son is around people that he can actually look up to and learn from, and just continue to look and research for different activities for him. And that's my thing. So Luke, do you have any other things before we get out of here?
Nah, man. As an outro, I just want to say, like I said earlier in the intro, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. I enjoy doing this. We look forward to tuning in to us next week. I know Solomon about to bring up the emails and everything like that, but tune in to what we got going on. He made the announcement in the beginning of the show. So again, we're gonna make the announcement at the end. There's indeed a book signing coming up. So Solomon supposed to be coming to the city. I don't know. We're gonna see it, my brother. He got some stuff coming out. I'm looking forward to it. And shout out to Israel as well. He got a lot of things that he has coming out and a lot of books and stuff like that. So we just over here working. So like I said, we appreciate you all. Definitely tune in again to us next week. We're gonna be here again at the same time next week. Tell your
Well, no,
friends,
no, no.
like,
Next
subscribe.
week, the
Oh no,
17th.
yeah. Next week gonna be a special week. You're right. Next week gonna be a special week. So just look out for an announcement for next week. Like Solomon said, we probably gonna do it earlier because we got, it's a special day for us. So shout out to the founder. So I enjoyed you all. Like I say, I love y'all, man.
You know what? I actually had something that I definitely just forgot about, right? This was sent to me by the Supreme Empress Sierra. And it was basically this president of Ukraine stated in an interview with the Associated Press that Ukraine has received only 75 billion of what is supposed to be 177 billion in aid sent by the United States. He says, I don't know where all the money is. Maybe it exists on paper. Maybe so. We don't argue. And we are grateful for everything. But as president, I note that we received only 70 billion. That is significant aid, but it's not 200. So we're going to talk about that because Biden, it's your fault. This is supposed to be during Biden. No, I'm just joking because I know everybody get emotional once we start talking about presidents on this podcast. Y'all wouldn't believe the amount of comments we get when it comes to Trump. They hate this man so bad. I don't know. But we're gonna talk about that because if we're hiding money, that's why Trump is doing what he's doing. Where's the money going? Family, I'm your host, Solomon. Thank you for tuning in to episode 38 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. You can find me on Facebook at Cornelius Solomon Walker, Instagram, CJ Walker 103. And if you want to get your book published, please email me at cwalker1582@gmail.com. And you can also find me on the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. Luke, where can people find you?
Indeed, you can find me at Luke733, the lead and number 9 at gmail.com. You also can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. Definitely send any questions, inquiries. I appreciate the love. I get a little something every now and then on Luke733 lead at gmail. So I appreciate those who send their love over. We just, like I said, we grateful for you all. Thank you for taking time to tune in tonight. We appreciate you, and we do not take your time for granted. We just love it. We love it. So thank you for another podcast. 38. We getting there. What's our goal? What we said? We getting to 10,000. We getting to 10,000.
Yeah, we want 10,000 by December. That's what we want.
So like, subscribe, share it with your friends, listen to it at work, tell your co-workers, tell your church members, tell everybody. All right.
Definitely tell your church members.
Tell whoever you think would love to hear us.
Because once we do our thing, and then we gonna get some of them guests on here. I don't want people trying to run. We like, cannot. No, no. It's a private list. We done locked it down.
Built from the ground up.
Like I said, family, on February the 22nd, this is just another programming note. The Black Wall Street pop-up shop, okay, from 3 to 7 p.m., okay? Actually, let me get the whole address because this is something that I want you all to make sure that you don't miss, okay?
I feel like maybe we should go live for the people, Solomon. You think we should go live for them just for a second? Maybe we'll try to get a little content from that day for you all.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
So y'all can see what we got going on out here. Shout out to Queen Sarah, making moves, making stuff happen.
Yep, 700 West, 119th Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60628. Okay, so I had to give y'all that address to make sure y'all.
And real quick, Solomon, but tell them the name of her book again.
The name of her book is called Princess and Prince Adventures: My Faith and Family.
Yeah. So y'all see, we making moves, and one more time, tell them the name of that publishing company again, my brother. What's the name of that
publishing company? King and Empress Publishing LLC. Email me.
Y'all see, we making moves over here. Y'all got to come out and support the people. We for real about it over here. Let's do it.
For sure. And what I got coming out this spring, okay, on March 21st, 2025, there are only 9 numbers, a book of numerology. Oh, I like the way I just did that. I sounded like a commercial. On March the 21st, 2025, family, I will be releasing my book. Okay. Now that one is mostly for the nation, but I do have some stuff coming out for everybody coming this June. Okay. It's going to be coming in June. I have a date for it. I have a title as well, but I'm going to just give y'all a date to look out for my new book, and that's going to be worldwide, and that is going to be June 27th. I think it was June 27th. Yeah, I think it's June 27th. So look out for that. I got some more projects coming up, okay? And if you can't listen to us live or show up to us live, we are on Spotify. Like Luke said earlier, thank you to our Spotify listeners. Thank you. We trying to get everywhere, okay? We trying to get to that 10,000 subscribers, okay? All right, family. That's it for me. So,
yeah.
peace.
Peace.